Welcome, Dr. James Beckett, Sports Card Insights. Rich Klein was over a couple of days ago, and we were recording some episodes and catching up, and gave him some cards for his charitable inclination, which I heartily approve of. And one of the things I gave him is I gave him some sorting boxes, these special 2x5 sorting boxes where you can drop cards in the decimal system in tens. You could put the cards in one of the, 2 rows of 5. It'd be 5 rows of 2, but it's really, I stacked them up there, and you can put them in there, and there's an opening there where you drop it in there and they fall in there, and then you pick them up and stack them up otherwise. I got those. I had a few of them, and they're gently used and not marked up at all. I gave them to Rich, and whether he'll pass them on or he can do whatever he wants to with them, but I don't use them anymore. So the thought occurred to me, maybe I'll share some of my other sorting ideas, because I don't use those boxes. I basically sort on a tabletop, a desk, hopefully not a slippery desk. I better thank the sponsors before we get going too far. Thanks, Burbank Sports Cards, Rob Veras, one of the guys who sorted more cards than I have, I think, but I've sorted a lot. Mike Stadium Sports Cards, Heritage Auctions, Huggins & Scott Auctions, Topps Panini and Upper Deck, ComC.com, and Beckett Media, Beckett Grading, Beckett Authentication. I don't think ComC has to sort cards. I think they take them as they go. They don't sort them when they get them. It gets a unique identification number, and they put the ID on it, what it is. Huggins & Scott, same thing. I don't think they're doing a lot of sorting. They may be grouping some lots when they have their treasure chest or shoebox lots. It's a brief description of what's in there. I don't think they're putting stuff in numerical order or saying this is this set unless it's very easy to do. And sorting may be a thing of the past when there's more of an appreciation of the very expensive game-used autograph, serially numbered special shiny cards. I have a system. One of the things I noticed when I compare notes with Rob Veras is I think he does a lot of his sorting by the card front. I absolutely do not do that. I would do that for cards in the 50s and the 60s, but for cards in the 2010s, I can't do it. They're too similar for me. When I'm looking through a dollar box or evaluating a collection, if it's not already in set order, I guess I start off with the front just to see if it's worth considering. Then I'll flip it on the back if I need to. Obviously, you can't take time going through a dollar box to look at the front and back of every card, or you wouldn't even be able to do one box. So why don't I need these sorting boxes that are in this 2x5? I actually had 5 of them so I could rotate them. I do 2 kinds of sorting. One is a back sort that's by the number of the card, and the other is a front sort that's based on alphabetical by player last name. Let me just start out and tell you on the alphabetical sort what I do. Again, this is free for anybody who wants to take it. Well, one principle I've learned in work simplification is that if you don't do it the same way every time, you're not getting the reinforcement. And I've seen people that when they're sorting alphabetically, they go through and pull out all the A's, or put out all the A's, B's, and C's, and then go through again and pull out the D's, E's, and F's, and G's, and then go back through. Multiple passes is not good. Okay. You want to, as much as possible, do the shortest number of passing through. So basically, I do a complete sort the first time alphabetically by the player's first letter of their last name. A typewriter keyboard basically has 3 rows of maximum 10 across the QWERTY, and the typewriter keyboard has, out of the 26 letters, there's 10 on the kind of the top row, not the number row, but the top row. And then there's 9, and then there's 7. And I guess that's for hitting the shift bar and things like that. So 10 plus 9 plus 7 is 26. I don't do exactly that. What I do is I do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all in the top row, all spaced out. So that takes, well, whatever it is, I guess 7. That's 7 across of the letter, and 7 times 2.5 inches wide. You're dealing with 20 or so inches, so that'll fit on a reasonable desk. And the next row is H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O. Okay, that's 8 letters. So the A is above the H, and then below the H would be the P. Then I P, and I put Q with P. I don't have a separate stack for Q because there's hardly any Qs. R, S, T, U and V go together, and then W, and then there almost are no X's, so Y and Z. So basically that's 7 on the top row, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, 8 on the second row, and then the third row is 7, but they're combo letters, P and Q, then R, S, T, U, V, W, and X, Y, Z. Okay, so it looks very orderly. The A is always above the H, is always above the P. And so what I'm able to do is I'm able to do that without looking. Okay, that is I've said this, it's the unconscious competence. I don't even have to think about it. When I see Hank Aaron, he's going in the upper left corner. If I see Roberto Clemente, that's 2 spaces over from the ABC in the C, and I stack them up. And when the stacks get too big, I set them aside and do that. So that's my alphabetical sort. You don't have to do that, but you need to have something that's within your field of vision. I think most people, especially if you've played any sports, you've probably honed some of your peripheral vision. I think I have good peripheral vision. So to be able to put it on the pile of the appropriate pile after many years now, I can do that. Now, what that requires in the alphabetical sort is if I am going to, once I get the A's, I've done everything by the first letter, then I've got to break down the A's. They're not all Hank Aaron's. There's some Roberto Alomars and Mose Alou. So I've got to break those. I can do those in a similar way with the same A through G, H through O, P through Z, 3 grid, or some other way. It depends on how many are there. And then I'm done. Then I've got it into player lots and I can rearrange it. Okay, that's half of it, or conceptually half of it. The other thing, when I turn the cards on the back, once I get a player, I'm going to numerically. How do I do that? Because so many of the cards are alphanumerically. I got to admit, I was saving this for episode 1000. So I'm actually giving you this several hundred episodes early because I think this is something that's really allowed me to sort a lot of cards. Again, you don't have to do it my way, but my way is honed after many decades, I guess, of doing this. So what I do when I'm sorting numerically, I start out with the setup of a phone keypad, which is 1, 2, 3 across the top, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And so any 10s, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. That's what go in that grid of 3 by 3 of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's the second digit. Now, anything that's less than 10, so it's 9, a number that's 9, 1 through 9 goes to the left. This is sounding very technical, but it's really pretty simple. So the 10s pile, the 10 through 19, to the left of it is the 1 through 9 pile. If it's alphanumeric, if it's numeric, I'm still going to put it where the number is. If it's card B97, it's going to go in the 90s. But if it's card B, it's going to go in a pile that's to the left of the 40s. Okay, that is alphabetical. No number cards. And that's right below the single digit 1 through 9. And then to the right, immediate right of the 30s on the telephone keypad is the hundreds. Anything in the hundreds, if it's 101 or 199, anything in the hundreds goes a stack there. And there's generally a fair number of those. Then right below that, adjacent or to the right of the 60s is the 200s. There's less 200s than 100s. I think that would make a lot of sense. And then right below that is 300 and up. And with some of these cards can get up into the 800s, the 900s. But most, again, most of them are, they're not, most sets don't, especially modern sets don't go that high anymore. So most of them are in the 10s and 20s and 30s, and then the 40s drop off, 50s. It's a little bit of a drop off on each one. When I'm done with that, maybe this is obvious, but once I have those piles, if these are all the 10s, and I'm already used to, in my mind, again, I can do this without looking, that all those in the 10s, I'm going to break them. They can only be between 10 and 19 because they're all, in the 10s digit is a 1. So I'm going to do the same thing. 11 is going to go in the upper left corner, and then it's going to go 11, 12, 13 across the top. Second row is 14, 15, 16. Next row is 17, 18, 19. And then the 10 can go, again, like over where the single digit would go. Again, I don't even have to look, and I know, and I've sorted millions of cards this way. That's a scary thought. Obviously, this is a good thought, is that not all cards are worth sorting. The first pass through, before I alphabetical sort, before I number sort, is it even worth going in the sorting pile? If it's not, I'm going to, like I said, I've given a bunch of cards to Rich for his charitable inclination. But if it's going to be sorted and put into a player pile, it's going to get alpha sorted and then eventually number sorted, so I'll know whether I have duplicates or not. That took a little longer than I thought. The whole point is not dreading sorting and being able to do something else while you're doing it. If you've got to concentrate, I need good light. I need a table that does not shimmy, does not have, it's not a slip and slide surface. Then I need to not let the stacks get too high where they tip over and crash. But like I said, I've been able to watch ball games because I'm barely looking at the card and I'm looking at the TV. So it's while I'm doing it. Again, I'm doing daily episodes. I'm doing 1,000. So forgive me for one that gets a little more detail oriented. But sorting cards is perhaps a lost art. And it's something that if I didn't enjoy the drudgery of sorting cards, I probably wouldn't be in this industry. Because at my deepest essence, I'm an organizing type guy, as you may have seen from some of the different podcast episodes I've had. So it's the greatest hobby in the world. And again, I encourage you to go deep with it. And don't be afraid of buying a collection that's big. Just don't be intimidated by sorting. Have an approach. This is my approach. And whatever you do, stick with it because you'll get better at it as you go. And it's unfair because I'm looking at decades now of experience, but just passing it on. So thanks, everybody. Be back again tomorrow with another episode.
The man in the house of cards. The man in the house of cards. The man in the house of cards.
tolerate.